YouTube NappyNation, how you feeling today? Today I got a special guest. Very honored to be interviewing my man's longtime partner. He went from drug dealing, gang banging, hustling, all that street stuff to owning his own clothing line. It's called the NoWords Concept. And I'm very proud of him because, like I said, I done seen him go from the bottom to grinding and owning your own shop and been around for a few years. I'm gonna let him get into details about how long and the struggles he went through and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the NoWords Concept. Here we go.
What I do with that?
Hi YouTube, this is the NappyNation channel. We here at the NoWords Concept. I'm here with a longtime partner, like I was telling y'all earlier. And he's here to tell you about himself, his story, where he came from and where he's at now. So with no further ado, here we go. How you feeling, cuzzo?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You already know.
Okay. You want to tell the people a little bit about you, where you from, or name?
I mean, people know me by a whole bunch of different names. My mom gave me the name Stefan. Everybody calls me Steve or Bo. My last name is Landry. Shit, I'm an old man, so a lot of people know me. A lot of people's people know me. You know, I guess I would be what is considered a staple of this community because I grew up both north side and south side. You know what I mean? But shit, back to this right here, what we do.
Well, before we start, I always like to give a disclaimer for the young cats out there that don't think that we're glorifying or advertising any negativity. When we talk about the streets, which we're going to get into all that, we just want to let kids know that you can make it up out of any situation that you're in. You know, this is a cat that's been doing this for 20 plus years, went from the gang banging, drug dealing, the whole 9 yards, to owning his own t-shirt shop, his own clothing shop. Right now we're inside the clothing shop. This is the NoWords Concept. And let's start with that, man. How did you start off in the streets? What took you to the streets in the first place?
Shit, just like everybody else, I was enticed by what other people had and I didn't have. You know what I mean? It's haves and have-nots. So you get enticed into that shit, and then before you know it, if you're really about your business, you're gonna put yourself in a position where people are relying upon you. So then, when it's time for you to bust a left, you find that difficult to do because the majority of the people you fuck with in the beginning are your family members, and now these family members have become relying upon you to keep doing what you're doing so they can do what they can do so everybody can live, you know what I mean? So it's a fucked up cycle. And you already know it's like playing double dutch, man. The longer you stay in there jumping around doing all your tricks and shit, the more winded you're gonna get, and that rope is gonna catch you at the head or the ankle at some point. And I got caught head and ankle.
How old was you when you got put on the hood?
Oh shit, I was late with the blue. I was considered late. I was probably like 19.
Okay.
I was probably like 18, 19 years old.
And then, you know, of course, with the gangs come the drug dealing and the whole 9 yards.
Well, you know, they used to tell us that you couldn't do both, and we was trying to prove them wrong.
Okay, you couldn't do both as in what? What you mean?
Banging and selling work, getting money.
Okay, yeah.
Banging and slanging didn't mix when I was coming up.
And like you said, we try to prove them wrong, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, at a certain point, you found yourself doing a lot of pen time.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk a little bit about that? What happened with that situation?
Like I said, I got caught by the rope I was in there doing my double dutch too long.
And what was the charge?
Distribution.
Distribution of crack cocaine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long did you do?
Distribution. I did 12 years, 9 months.
12 years, 9 months. That's a long damn time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of motherfuckers in there with a lot more time.
Right.
You know, but it is what it is. And like I say, you know, the slanging actually showed me some things about numbers that I didn't know prior to. Having the time alone to actually think about all that shit, man, look, I ain't did nothing but change my product. I'm still doing the same thing. My tagline, as a matter of fact, on the NoWords shit, like when we sell them bricks, them t-shirts, we sell 2 t-shirts for $7, white t-shirts, I bag them up, seal them like a brick of cocaine, and put a stamp on it that says proof that you can sell dope forever. That's
Okay.
just to show you, because it's all about showing you, not telling you. You know what I mean? That you can do what you do. Don't think that you got to come out here and get all into this business concepts and YouTubes, and you can do this shit and create this shit on your own and do it from your own. I don't have my clamps right now, but they're downstairs in the basement. I started this shit with some table clamps that I took from a motherfucker that wasn't using them.
Right.
And started this. You know what I mean? So, but I used the same exact formula I did when I was out in the streets selling dope.
So did you have this concept when you was in there to come out and?
I fell into the screen printing. My whole thing was when I first came home. You know, I was always thinking about some shit. So my whole thing was when I first came home. I mean, besides playing the game in the paper game, you know what I mean? I didn't want to. I had to have something that was untaxable.
Right.
So I was tattooing, and I tattooed this broad. People know the story because I've told it before, and all my shit was disposable. But I tattooed her in her house. It was called Bo's Traveling Tattoo Circus, right? Because I always been tattooing the homies and all that shit from day one. She got an infection and started running around talking about I gave her an infection. So then I was looking for a spot where I could tattoo in a clean spot and still not be, you know, still be under the radar, so to speak. And I ran into this cat up on, matter of fact, I think it was Wheat, this little nut, that, shout out Alec Rogers. It was him that brought me to Jamal Denman up there. He had a space up on top of the Robert Shoe store.
On Chicago and Lake, over South Minneapolis.
That was my first spot, you know. And what happened was he had the press already set up, but it was just, like I say, it was some table clamps, and he had a little base underneath it so that he could, you know, print shirts. And he had a screen up, but he was never using the joint. Shit. You can't leave no artistic shit around me, and I don't fuck with it, you know what I mean? So I did that, and I did a shirt. I did the first shirt, the first NoWords shirt, which was See All Tell None. I did the See All Tell None. I went downstairs and I talked to the owner of the building, Mark Simon, and he gave me that window. I got that Chicago side window, the display case window that Roberts used to use.
Yeah.
I got that joint in 2012. And that's when we really started blasting off, because I sold that one shirt in the community, probably made me about $5,000–6,000.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then I bought this first, I came into a deal where people had closed down their business out in Alexandria, Minnesota. This shit had been sitting for like 3 years. It was a whole screen printing shop because they transitioned their business into doing vehicle graphics and shit like that for NASCAR and all that type of shit, right?
Right.
So they transitioned and left this shit in the storage. So I went and got this shit for $8,500. A whole shop, off of that one image. And you know, you keep looking for that one image, just like when cats be getting high. They chasing that dragon, I'm chasing that dragon. I'm trying to find that one image at least once a month that gives that kind of revenue. You know what I mean? That turnaround.
So what year you say that was you created this? 2012.
Yeah.
So that's 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years now.
Okay, that's what true hustlers do. Like you said, you ain't changed the mindset, you just changed the product.
It's the same exact thing. I mean, I got $20 rocks and I got keys. You know, it's the same thing. Like the keys keep my business rolling. The $20 rocks, I eat off of that.
No
You know
doubt.
what I mean? So if the motherfucker buys a shirt, that's a $20 rock.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's no different. You want a sweatshirt, that's a 50.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want some custom shit stitched up with all the every bops. You know what I mean? Balls, quarters, it's all the same thing, but it breaks down on a wholesale level. So my wholesale keeps me in business.
Okay.
So we print for a whole bunch of, you know, brands, companies, little small businesses, schools, parks, churches, you know, family reunions. But that's
All
what's
that.
been keeping us in business, is the people we do business with. We give them exactly what they want. No
Right.
matter if we don't get it right the first time, they come back and holler at us, and we straighten the shit out like it's supposed to be done, without no argument.
So you said you was doing tattoos at first. When you started, so obviously you draw.
Yeah.
When did you figure out you was just an artist?
Oh man, shit, I don't know. My mama tell the story of the butcher paper. You know what I mean?
What's the butcher paper?
My mama and my grandmother used to have this friend that owned a butcher shop. So my mama, instead of whooping my ass constantly for drawing on the walls with my markers and my crayons and shit, she went and got butcher paper and taped it up around my room so that I could draw on the walls whenever I wanted to. So she encouraged that instead of disciplining it to try and beat it out of me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I mean, you can think about it all past, no matter what I was doing in my life, I was always doing that. So that was what I realized. I didn't realize it. Somebody told me. Somebody told me some real relevant shit when I was locked up. And he told me, he said, man, I'm gonna ask you a question. He said, you might think you got the answer to this question within like 72 hours. But I don't want you, I mean, right away, skip that. You might think you got the answer to this right away, but I want you to wait 72 hours before you answer it. So I waited. Now, commissary day was the day before the 72 hours would have been up, right? So I come into the cell from work, and it's 2 boxes of colored pencils, 150 boxes of envelopes, and a big ass ring that he stole out the library on my bed, right? So he comes in, when he comes in from work, I'm like, I crack a joke on him, at him about, you know, putting shit on the bed. Like, you know, you ain't supposed to do that.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to do that in bed.
You making a plate for my ass, nigga.
Right, for those that don't know, in the pit, that's a no-no.
Like, nigga, I'll fuck you up.
All right.
He's a good nigga, man. OG Grego, man, from A-Tray Hoover, man. Good nigga, man. But, he said, man, what's the one thing you've been doing all of your life, no matter what else you was going through? That was the question that he wanted me to answer within the 72 hours, right? I got a little off topic. But my first answer was fight. Because you know me, dog. You know, this is what I've been doing a long time. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the correct answer. That was the mentality I was in when I first got locked up in that cage. You know what I mean? Like, for real, when you look back, no matter what else I was doing, I was always drawing. Even if it was at sitting at the table playing spades and dominoes with the homies, I always took score, struck up the hood, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Doodled and shit while we was playing, or spray painting on the side of my buckets, because niggas know I'm the king of the goddamn hoopty. You ain't never seen me in a nice car other than that 63 if you was back then, or that 76 glass house I had right before I went to prison. I ain't never had no nice car. I always keep a bucket. You feel me?
Right.
So anyway, it was draw. And then he dropped some shit on my head that was cold as hell, man. He said, now that you've recognized your talent, I don't give a fuck if you believe in God or what, you have an individual talent. He said, once you combine that talent with the mentality that got you sitting in a federal maximum security penitentiary, you're gonna be unstoppable.
Right.
And it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's true game.
Because I was aspiring to be where I was at. I wasn't trying to be in the state joint on no, you know, I done hurt a motherfucker type, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was trying to get some money. But that's when I realized that kind of late, but still like probably halfway through my bid that, you know, I aspired towards that stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, so now what I gotta do? I gotta get a plan. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Everybody know that. That's one of them good ass cliches that works. Q, would you grab me a black t-shirt from downstairs? I think there's some small ones. Matter of fact, no. Give me that Queen Slay joint.
So we've been having this NoWords Concept running for 5 years now.
The brand, yeah. And
the brand.
Business, yeah.
And let's talk about the ups and downs or the trials and tribulations of running your own spot, because, you know, we all know it ain't easy. Some people might think it's easy. Even if you got a little bit of money, it takes a little something to do it, man. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? What have you felt like giving up sometimes, or has it all been peachy, or what?
Hard. Explain what's hard.
Well, you know,
what's hard to one ain't hard to another.
Okay.
I recognize that I sat my ass in a cell and worked for $5.25 a month. So I was doing labor anyway. So niggas out here chasing a dream, running from labor instead of creating the dream and using the labor, so that you don't wind up in the box having to do the labor for $5.25 a month. 2 + 2 ain't always 22. you gotta add up to 4 sometime. You know what I mean? Like that's just as real as it gets, man.
No doubt. Okay, so I guess that's looking at it optimistic. That's the glass half full all the time. So at the end of the day, you said, I mean, life is hard. It's a struggle, but it's how you look at it.
It's what drives you. Where's your drive at?
Okay.
Where's your drive at?
So what would you tell a cat that wanted to grab his own business and he didn't know which direction to go? What kind of advice or pointers would you give him?
I'm not gonna give him no. I'm gonna tell him to jump, because experience is the best teacher. You're either gonna build a parachute while you're falling, or you're gonna splat. Nigga, that's all there is to it. But you know, you're gonna have another chance at it after that. The game is win or learn. It ain't win or lose. That's
Right.
where a lot of cats got it fucked up.
I like that. It's win and learn, not win and lose. That's some dope shit right there. Why don't we get into making one of these shirts?
I'm about to. I just.
So right now we prepping the screen press to do a few shirts.
We'll go around here with a few shirts. That looks like that's still off a little bit, man.
So obviously that yellow's going to put the yellow inside the shirt, right?
Yeah.
And you could just do different colors like that, huh?
Yeah. Every screen is a color.
So whatever happened to the guy that where you first started? You said that had the equipment. Whatever happened to him? Did he continue doing this stuff, or he wasn't doing it at first in the first place, huh?
Nah, he was just playing with it. He had an image up there. I've seen cats with that image too. It's the north face image that says the north side.
Okay,
So
yeah.
he might have done them, or he might have got that idea from somebody else. I don't know. But that was the screen that was up on the press at the time.
So do you still tattoo in your spare time?
I don't know what that is. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to tattooing. I don't got no spare time right now.
Okay.
No spare time with this.
You put everything into this NoWords concept.
Into this business. That's all. Damn, man.
I like what you said earlier when you said people ask you why don't you never leave the shop, and you said, did you ever leave your first crack spot?
When did you leave your first crack house? Yeah.
Yeah, that's real game.
Well, we're printing money, man.
We talk about that stuff at work, and people always ask, why don't people inside my line of work get their own business? And I tell them, if you don't like working now, you ain't gonna want to start your own business, because people that got their own business work more than the person that got the average 9 to 5.
Yeah, you sign up for 80, so you ain't got to do 40.
Right.
It's basically what it is. But nah, let me stay on track, man. What do you want? What was the next question?
Well, basically, we was just saying, the last question was, what would you tell somebody that was trying to start their own situation? You said,
Jump. Yeah.
jump.
That's all I tell them.
Life is his best teacher. Experience is his best
Man,
teacher.
look, if you can handle it, but we're all capable of handling it. We know it. Instead of complaining about the shit you go through, utilize that. Use that as your fuel, man. You know what I mean? Like, that just don't make no sense. I ain't never been no victim, though. You know what I mean? I ain't never been or looked at it from the perspective of a victim. I've always been predator. So I don't have that victim mentality. Nothing that affects me is due to anything other than myself. You know what I'm saying? It's the choices I make, the shit that I do that affects me and puts me in the positions that I wind up in. Everybody recognize that, we'll be all right. But ain't nobody wants to deal with accountability. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to stand on that front line for their motherfucking self. You know what I mean? They're doing it for applause and shit instead of for a cause.
So is Minnesota the only place you got to shop at, or how does that work? How big is the franchise so far?
We make everything here. I got people who sell in Maryland, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. I said Phoenix, right?
Phoenix. Is there a California spot?
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was a California spot. And what's the? Well, you might as well give them some of your contacts. How can they get some of this no word material?
The website, the NoWords Concept .com. The website. That's if you find yourself liking some of the shit I got. You know, I'm on Instagram as Mr. No Words. I'm on Facebook with my real name, MrLandry. Shit, you know. Or you can email me at the NoWordsConcept@gmail.com. Anything you need printed up, I got you. One thing we do our best not to do is we're shooting for it anyway. Not over promising and under producing.
Okay.
That's what's kept us in business for 5 years.
And if they are local here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, what's the address to the spot?
811 East 56th Street.
South Minneapolis.
Yeah, we're on 56, right off of 56 in Chicago, in between Elliott and Chicago.
Okay. When you're done doing that, let's go out here, grab a few joints, and you could tell them, you know, just roundabout prices for a couple of the items you got. And I think we'll have everything unless there was anything else you wanted to tell the people.
I mean, you know, the purpose of the interview was, you know what I mean? I didn't really know what you wanted, you know, as far as how deep you wanted to get. You know, I get deeper than Atlantis on the motherfucker. You know,
Hey, it's all on you, man. It's just to get the brand out there, you know, let them know.
See, I'm not really, I mean, I love my brand, don't get me wrong, but, you know, like I said, I'm not doing this shit for applause, I'm doing it for a cause.
Right.
I enjoyed my life when I was doing what I was doing. I had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I don't still need to have fun, but I need to make sure that the shit that I created has a chance. You know what I mean? Instead of complaining about the chances that we don't got. Okay, you recognize you got these problems, you know what I mean? You ain't got these chances and all of that, so make a way for the next generation. Step the fuck aside. You know, I stay out these young niggas' way, because man, look, I remember being a young motherfucker that didn't like old motherfuckers, so I stay out of you young motherfuckers' way, man. Because I don't want y'all having no thoughts about me like I used to have about them. You know what I mean? I ain't in your way. I got my own lane over here. You know what I mean?
No doubt. So what's the name? What's this brand right here that you're doing? Who's this one for?
This is for Minnesota marijuana.
Is that a biker club or?
No, it's a I believe it's like a activist group. My man Michael Ford runs that shit. He does all his work with that shit. He's trying to, to get marijuana legal in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is there anything that behind the scene wise, as far as business go, that any newcomer should know about?
Never trust a cat that comes to you and asks you for a deal before he's done any business with you. Give deals according to how people fuck with you, man. Just like you would on the street. You know what I mean? You bought enough work from me, you already know. If you ain't got but 600, I'm gonna take that 600. Then I'm gonna sell 3/4 for 300 and make 1,200. So I got 1,800, and I was only selling them for 9 a piece anyway. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? The offset.
So if he come to you, never did business with you, and out the gate he want a deal,
I mean, who you need to fuck with?
don't deal with him.
No, I ain't saying don't deal with him because situations dictate circumstances.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Anything corporate wise, like, is there any kind of like?
I can't tell another person how to do it, how they want to do it, because they need to do it. They need to figure it out. You know,
Right.
It's like there's so much information out here in the world, man. You know, that's the thing. It's like cats is still out here trying to catch up instead of just trying to catch on. Once you catch on, you're moving. Everything's fine, but you got to learn and relearn and keep learning. That's why I say the game is win or learn. It ain't win or lose. You look at it from a fucked up perspective. If you think it's win or lose,
Right.
you already got given up in your heart. I don't.
So I guess on that last question, what I kind of was aiming towards is,
I think it's red, gold, and green.
as far as like business loans or something of that nature. They tell you that you can't get one if you're a felon or blah blah blah. Is there
I haven't
anything?
applied for any business loans, bro. I've done this all off the cuff. Like I
Okay.
said, it's just like taking a team and putting all money in until you got an ounce. It's no
Right.
different. I ain't made no money, but we did good money last year in revenue. I ain't made shit. But
Right.
that's because everything I make, I put into making more. We got 4 of these, man. You see, I got 2 of them up now. There's one underneath the dryer, and there's another one downstairs.
That sounds like something I heard Dame Dad say in the interview. He said he ain't never got money because every penny he gets, he puts it right back into his business.
That's right. That's right. Because my business ain't for me. It'll feed me at one point in time, but it'll leave something for what I created.
Okay.
So I'm not complaining about the opportunities I didn't have and how I grew up. None of that shit is relevant to me because if I wind up working myself into a goddamn casket to put something in place for my children, so be it. Like I said, I've enjoyed my life already. You know what I mean? You already know, though. You know the hit, man.
Yeah. So is there any, like, what's the ultimate goal for the brand? Like, could some big wig come to you and buy it out, or?
No, my family's going to own the majority share if we decide to go and do it, incorporate it. You know what I mean? Like, for sure, like I said, my end game, for me personally, is just buying a building. Once I buy my building, then I'll go back to doing something else that I want to do. Because the shop will still be in the building, and then my children will have equity in a commercial space. They can go do whatever the fuck they want to do. They don't have to inherit the business. The business is just set up to make money. You know what I mean? When you sold work, you either paid your rent or you bought shoes and fly shit. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
about being responsible with what you got and putting it into something that makes more money while you got time to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
I'm trying to find this business, man. But I'm listening to you.
All right. Well, shoot, man. Let's grab a few things and just give people a little rundown.
You know, we make everything to order here, man. What I do is I buy shit in my size that I'm experimenting with, and then I post it, and then people order it. They give me a deposit, and I make the joint for them, and they get it in whatever color they want. That one's going hard right now. This one's going hard right now with the decon, rat poison on the sleeve, with the NoWords under it. We got the wordless. This is more for the feminine, you know what I mean, for the girly girls. That's just my handwriting. I just wrote that shit out. Matter of fact, I just found the image somewhere too. That one ain't tagged yet. This is the signature NoWords joint in the black glitter flake. And then this is like the sports joint. The NoWords sports tail.
Okay.
And then we got stuff out in the front. Come on in the front. All this shit, we make these. Mom makes these. I bought her a knitting machine, so she makes these on the machine. So all these are what color you want, you know what I mean? I got the heavyweight sweatshirts. I got the regular weights, like the 9 ounces, the 7.8 ounces. I got all of that, so you can't miss me.
Yeah, I was showing them this earlier. Couple of joints you had.
So I got something on these. Yeah, this is the Minneapolis as fuck in the wild colors.
Okay.
This is the Minneapolis as fuck in the Timberwolves colors. That's just a female joint. Minneapolis fuck with the silver on it.
I like that.
Same with the St. Paul as fuck with the silver on it. And then I've been getting a lot of beef about this one, but that's one of my favorite ones right there.
What that say there? Okay.
Kill the cops that kill.
Kill the cops that kill. And that's only real, man. If you could dish it, you could take it, right?
And then you see we got the classic Kill 'Em All.
That's one of my favorite joints.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
I like the eyebrows too. Let's get the eyebrows.
Cool.
Kill 'em all eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got something Check this out. I got something for the big boys to be bright and fly in too if they want to do that. I believe that's a 7X.
A 7X, no words. Okay.
And this is a 5X right here.
Marcus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
You
so
know, you can't miss me, man. We make it for you though. You know what I mean? So basically, anything, the way it's gonna run eventually is the brand. When I'm running a retail store like I want to, the
Right.
brand, the images will only be popping like for like 10 days. You know what I mean? And if you don't get them within them 10 days, they'll be gone. And then I'll be able to sell a membership so that I'll give somebody like a yearly percentage off of everything they buy from us, and a yearly package with some hats and some sweatshirts or some t-shirts. You know what I mean? Do some shit like that to where they can be a part of this too. And they got a membership. That means if you got a membership, you'll be able to get any image anytime you want, no matter how old it is. But the
Okay.
regular public, the general public, they only gonna be able to get what we produce for those 10-day cycles. Cause I got thousands of images. I draw every day, no matter what I do that. You know what I mean?
all right, well, there we have it, man. The NoWords Concept brand.
We like titties too, right here, the awareness. The breast cancer awareness joint. I don't know if it's anything inside on this. No, it's just a blank one right now. But Mom's sewing it up, so once she sews them up, I'll put them up on the thing.
And you also put whatever somebody want on their stuff too. You do.
Yeah, we just don't do same day service.
Right.
That's all.
Okay,
We
so
do 50% deposit down and then 50 when you pick up, and we'll make anything you want.
so yeah, if you want your own, anything you want, 50% down, and then the other 50% when you pick up.
You know?
So all right, well this is the NoWords Concept store. My
Except
man
for
Bo.
with embroidery. Mom don't play that shit. It's 100% everything with embroidery because she don't. You pay up front for the embroidery.
Okay.
So
All right.
let me slide that in there before she hacked my neck off.
Right. Well, I appreciate the time, man. And,
It's all love, baby boy.
all right, man. NoWords Concept. We signing out. Nappy Nations. You too.
Yeah.